Stop it. Sit down.
Sorry, I just got, for just a little moment, hot flush.
Please, please me, won't ya, like I please you. You don't need me to show the way, love. Why do I always have to say, love? Come on, 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 come on. Please, please me, won't ya, like I please you. Maybe I'm amazed at the way you love me all the time. Or maybe I'm afraid of the way I love you. It's a tug of war. Though I know I mustn't crumble, it's a tug of war. Help them to learn songs of joy instead of burn, baby, burn. Let us show them how to play the pipes of peace. Play the pipes of peace. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. The party's on, the feeling's here. That only comes this time of year. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. The choir of children sing their song.
When you were a little boy, did you think you would grow up to be somebody special?
No, not really. The only thing I remember about thinking what I'd be when I grew up was when I was about 5. I remember thinking, I wonder if I'll ever be a father. That was the only thing I wondered if I'd be. Because it was so magical at 5, because you don't think, well, I couldn't. How am I ever going to turn into a father of someone? You know? It was the only thing I ever wondered. But I don't think we ever expected like to be as successful with the Beatles as we were.
But were you an exceptional or prodigious child? I mean, did all your family go, oh, well, we always knew he'd do something out of the ordinary?
No, not really. I couldn't get arrested. No, it wasn't like that, you know. I was never that talented in any particular direction, you know. At school, I was okay, but I'd never work. That was the slight problem. You know, I was always one of those, could do better if he'd apply himself. So I don't think we were ever, you know, the family was never really hoping for great things, I don't think. We're hoping, maybe. And my mum was a nurse and she wanted me to be a doctor. You know, like a lot of people wanted then, probably still do. Nice if your kid can grow up to be a doctor. Wonderful thing, you know. But music, no, we couldn't even win talent contests. We certainly weren't like, you know, great talents. But eventually, sort of, we got it together and decided we wouldn't do talent contests anymore. We used to keep getting beaten by this woman who played the spoons, this old lady, because everyone was out of it around about 11:30, and they kept voting for her. Oh, she's great. We come on, oh God, how are you going to follow that?
Back in Liverpool these days, I mean, they've got monuments to you and you can take a guided tour around all the houses where you and the rest of the Beatles lived as kids and the schools you went to and the barber shop in Penny Lane. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's just strange. You know, there's no way you can really feel anything about it except it's just a weird feeling. It's like when Willie Russell wrote that John, Paul, George, Ringo and Bert play. And people said, well, why don't you go to the theatre to watch it, you know? It's weird going to see something that it's you, but it's being treated like a legend. It's being treated like it's not you. I don't mind it, of course, because, you know, it's what we wanted was fame. So you can't, when you get it, you can't knock it. But it feels weird. It feels... I sometimes wish it wasn't there just because it sometimes elevates you out of the real life. People sort of, wow, you know, they meet you and it's like, you know, you're like, oh God, you're a mystic person. You say, no, I'm not. You want a cup of tea, you know? And But I never have that much trouble with that. You know, this pretty much soon realise I'm normal.
used to practically live in a recording studio, didn't you? I mean, when you were working at Air Studios and things like that. Yeah. Do you still work that way? I mean, continually recording and recording and recording, or not?
When you're into an album, it can get a bit intense, you know, where you...
Yeah, but we're talking about a couple of years here, aren't we?
What, to make an album? A year, probably. Yeah. If it ever gets to be a couple of years, it'll mean I've had 6 months off because I was fed up with it and put the project down, and then I don't think I've really spent much more than a year. You know, it sounds crazy because the Beatles' first album was done in a day, so it's not as if you can't do it. I mean, that was done from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, roughly. But what happens is when digital came in, you start thinking about, well, we don't want any hiss then, because if the CD players are going to be able to give you great quality, we shouldn't cock it all up by giving them a lot of hiss. So you start getting meticulous about your technical quality and stuff, and that's what tends to take the time. And then when computers and computerized stuff came in, it sometimes takes 2 days to get them to work. You know, the time-saving devices. It takes you about 3 days to learn how to turn them on. You know.
What I really wondered was
That's
whether
my
you have
excuse,
this
and I'm
sort of...
sticking to it. I don't care what you say.
No, I really wondered whether you'd got this kind of ongoing thing of always being fiddling about in the studio and recording something, or whether you had sort of periods of your life where you're making an album and then the rest of the year you get on with your life.
Yeah, well, that's the idea, you know. But I do fiddle about more now because I've got my own studio now. So I can go in, you know, if I'm feeling a bit fed up and just make up a track. I do that a bit. But I try and keep it separate, you know, because you can just get fed up. If you're there all the time, it's not as much fun, you know. So I try and balance it up, you know, just have times when like in the summer, I don't work much through the summer. You know, in the minute that weather gets good and stuff, I just feel soft going in the studio. I mean, unless there's a big album on or something, you know, and you've got everyone and we've got to go in. But if I have the choice, then I won't go in. You know, I'll go off on holidays, do sensible things like that.
Do you have one place that you call home, or you just got lots of houses all over?
Yeah, no, I live about 2 miles outside London. Kids go to local schools and stuff, so that's where we've kind of settled down.
State schools?
Which is nice. Yeah, they go to state schools, yeah. Tried all that private thing, and it didn't suit us, because I was state school, and I always felt that for the kids it was most important for them to have their feet on the ground. Then you show them all the wonders and stuff, and if you're talking about a rich life, you meet so many people who've got money but really don't know how to handle it. They just, you know, they're just never going to relate to anyone except maybe themselves, and if they're lucky.
Do you go to PTA meetings and speech day and the concert and all that?
We go to the school plays, and so I'm not a PTA. I couldn't do that. But yeah, we go to the school plays and stuff like that. Yeah, my son was the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz.
How old was he then?
9. A very young Tin Man. It was great. You know, I love all that. I love those productions. Those are the best. The kids ones. There was one year where they had a production of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, and the kids, they all had these hula hoops kind of thing, and then paper, then another hula hoop, you know, making a barrel for the 40 Thieves to go in. And they're all there, all these little kids. And one of my daughters was a dancing girl, you know. And the little kids are all standing there with these hoops, and us parents are all watching, you know, like, yeah, willing them on. And those little kid's trousers went, and he couldn't do anything. He's got holding up this ruddy hoop, you know. So a little girl kind of goes, ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Off again. It was amazing. You know. And they tried to keep it in the next night. It didn't work the next night.
Take it away, wanna hear you play till the lights go down. Take it away, don't you wanna stay till there's no one else around. Take it away, wanna hear you play till the lights go down. Take it away, don't you wanna stay Maybe listening to you. Maybe listening to you. Maybe listening to you. Take it away. Take it away. After hours, late in the bar, by a dark and corner seat, faded flowers wait in the jar till the evening is complete.
Are you a gentleman farmer?
Yeah, I suppose that's like a terrible thing to say, isn't it? I just like the countryside. I've always liked it since I was a kid. And with the Beatles and stuff, it was so urbane and non-countryfied. You know, you're always in cities, always in hotels and that I got to a point round about Abbey Road time, you know, in the White Album time, which was towards the end of the Beatles time, where I started to think I'm never going to be able to recapture those kind of things you felt when you were a kid, when you actually laid down on the grass and smelt it and stuff, silly stuff like that, you know, and I suddenly thought, I'll miss all that. But then I realised it hadn't gone away, I had. So since then I've kind of become interested more in that kind of thing, probably because it reminds me of childhood, and like I say, I like nature. Me and Linda are great nature lovers. So that led me into kind of farming, just because you've got fields you're allowed to walk in. See, when I was a kid, you always were frightened. If ever you got to the middle of a field, you always said, "Oh, you, bugger off!" Yeah, and they always were there too, you know. You were never allowed to kind of stand in a field. In fact, when I got, you know, my farm the first time, that was what I did, you know, for weeks. Stand there, you know, no one could chase me, you know. So, I mean, that's the kind of basis of it. And the farm, we're vegetarians, so the farm is like sheep, but we only take the wool. None of them go to market. They all die of old age. It's good, though. You know, I mean, I like it. And we grow cereals and stuff. It's great. It's a great balancing thing for me, you know, after you've been like the Royal Variety performers or something crazy and showbiz, then you can just go home and there's nothing but just field of wheat or something. I don't know. I like all that.
About Live Aid, is the overriding memory of the thing all the great stuff for you, or that awful moment when you realised that you were singing away and nobody could hear you and they were all throwing bottles and things like that?
Oh, I didn't realise it. I don't think there was any bottles, actually. You must have been sitting somewhere else.
No, I don't mean throwing them at you, but there was all sorts of stuff going on.
Each other. No, the overriding memory is that a lot of money was raised for people who otherwise died. That was what it was about. It wasn't a joyous day at a rock concert. It was an effort to raise massive money to solve a massive problem, you know. And that was the great thing at the end of the day. It was like, we did it. You know, you did it, Bob. I remember kind of looking at him and saying, you did it. You know, which was like magic, you know. And it's such a great day to have been there. You know, it's like one of those, I was there, you know, it's like a great something, you know, from
You
the
must have been
past.
upset, though. It was the first time you'd played
Well,
to
I was
a live
nervous.
audience.
I was nervous.
Ages.
How you tried playing to the world live on a piano when you've never, ever done it? I suddenly realised when I got up there, I've never done this before. Because, like, Bob rang me up, he said, come on, there's got a live aid, a great global jukebox, And I said, well, I can't really do it, Bob, I haven't got a band. He said, oh, I've got a band. Go, come here, you play your piano. I said, all right, well, you know, can't get out of this. I said, OK, go on, I'll come. Great cause and all that, I'll do it. But then, you know, the morning of it, I said, what am I doing? I'm kidding. I've never actually stood up on a thing and played piano on my own without at least someone to wink at, you know. So it was just nerve-wracking. And the mic went in the middle of it. And, you know, so it was terrifying. But, I mean, once it was over, then it was great, and I ended up singing Feed the World with Bono, of U2, which was great for me because I liked them. And he'd been my favourite guy out of the day. I'd been watching it on telly earlier and stuff before I'd gone in. And that had been the band I'd liked, so I'd been saying, oh yeah, I must kind of say hello to him. So I ended up on a mic with him, which was great. So I've remembered all the good things about it, you know. It was a brilliant day. And the mics, I don't know. When I met the BBC fellas afterwards, sorry, microphone, because I'd said, we'd had meetings and all of that, and I'd said, well, you have no problem with me, I only got a piano. And I should have thought there was something wrong when he sort of said, it's sometimes the hardest thing to mic. I thought, who's this fella, you know? A piano, you stick one mic in it, you know, and give me one, and we're done. I think what happened was the Queen lads were on before me, Freddie and Brian were on before me, and apparently their crew...
The meter had run out.
Eh?
The meter had run out.
The meter, everybody put another shilling in. And no, what they'd done, they'd broken down their thing, their roadies and stuff, and just said, right, that's it, lads, finished, pull all their plugs. And they pulled mine at the same time, apparently. And I was going fine, actually. I thought, because you can never tell whether it's on or not. You just hear yourself, like now. I mean, I don't know if this is working. There's no way of me to tell. You just keep going. So it was like that on the thing, except I suddenly heard the audience go, yay! But I thought, well, that must be a relevant bit of the song or something. It was actually because it had come on for a second, you know. I saw someone who'd been to the Philadelphia concert, and he said, I didn't notice it, man. Did the mic go off? Hey, it was great. So he must have been well out of it. But so generally, you know, it was great. I enjoyed it.
I light a candle to our love. In love our problems disappear. But all in all we soon discover that one and one is all we long to hear. All around the world, little children being born to the world. Got to give them all we can till the war is won. Then will the work be done? Help them to learn songs of joy instead of burn, baby, burn. Let us show them how to play the pipes of peace. Play the pipes of peace. Help me to learn songs of joy instead of burn, baby, burn. Won't you show me how to play the pipes of peace? Play the pipes of peace. What do you say? Will the human race be run in a day? Or will someone save this planet we're playing on? Is it the only one? What are we gonna do? Help them to see that the people here are like you and me. Let us show them how to play the pipes of peace. Play the pipes of
I know that on the most recent album you've been songwriting with Eric Stewart, and of course you've done, you know, like collaborations in the past. But would you like to work with some of the younger artists? I mean, like you said about Bono.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think so.
Are you going to then?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you know, I haven't got any plans to kind of do anything like that. I like a lot of them. The only trouble with collaborating with people is then you suddenly get known as like, oh God, here's another duet. I mean, Cliff's done a lot of that this year, isn't he? Sarah Brightman, now Elton and stuff. And you start to kind of go, oh God, it'd be nice to see him do a record. And I did Stevie and Michael Jackson, and worked with a lot of people there. And I did get a few people coming up to me and sort of saying, oh, you're just working with them because they're famous. You know, a lot of people kind of start to wonder that, and then so you think, well, it's not really that. But there are quite a few people that I admire a lot, so if I was ever going to do it. But I don't know if I'll actually get round to like doing anything with Bono and that. I'm maybe going to work with Peter Gabriel a bit. Next year we're doing a kind of song together at the moment. But he's hardly younger, is he? He's only a couple of years younger than me, old fogies we are. But I don't actually know most of the young bands, but I admire them. I mean, I like bands like Simple Minds and stuff like that. I tend to like the ones who are more, the better musicians. I tend to respect a bit more, you know. So it's like your Simple Minds and Dire Straits. And kind of, she gave a funny look then. She doesn't like Dire Straits. Oh, God, you've had this. No, they're good, though, you know. Like, you've heard him. Mark, plenty, Knopfler.
We all know that people are the same wherever you go. There is good and bad in everyone.
When we learn to live, we learn to give each other what we need to survive. Together alive, Ebony and Ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we?
Ebony, Ivory, living in perfect harmony. Ebony, Ivory.
We all know that people are the same wherever you go. There is good and bad in everyone.
We learn to live when we learn to give each other what we need to survive. Together alive, Ebony and Ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we? Side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we?
You've got a CD at home.
Yeah, I have. They're good, aren't they? I got given one, actually. It's a funny story, because my albums weren't on CD. And I did Tug of War, which Sony very cleverly said, can we, somebody said, can we take a record and make a CD? Just to kind of, and I said, well, you know, great, you know, yeah, we do it. And it was just a one-off. It was supposed to just be to show me the quality of CD. So I thought, this is great, you know, and I loved it. I just had the only copy of Tug of War. They mastered it specially. I thought, this is brilliant, you know, because I got to play it and loved it and everything. And then they said, they gave me an award for the best engineered CD disc of the year. So EMI just looked stupid because they didn't produce this thing. There was only one copy ever. But Sony were very brilliant, you know, so that was a brilliant move of theirs. So I kind of went to the thing and said, thank you very much for this award and all that. Of course, the next day EMI sort of had to release it, or they would look just stupid.
In another world, in another world, we could stand on top of the mountain with our flag unfurled. in a time to come. In a time to come, we will be dancing to the beat played on a different drum. It's a tug of war, though I know I mustn't grumble. It's a tug of war, but I can't let go. If I do, you'll take a tumble, and the whole thing is gonna crumble. It's a tug of war. In years to come, they may discover what the air we breathe and the life we lead are all about. But it won't be soon enough for me. No, it won't be soon enough for me. In another world, we could stand on top of the mountain with our flag unfurled. In a time to come, we will be dancing to the beat played on a different drum. We will be dancing to the beat played on a different drum. We will be dancing to the beat played on a different drum.
Do you think you're a family entertainer? And if so, would you rather be a rock star?
I'm not really fussed about what I am now, you know, because I've been a lot of stuff I wanted to be. So, I mean, you know, if I was ever trying to become a title, a rock and roller, well, you know, I mean, I don't think of myself as anything in particular. I mean, obviously, as you get older, it gets harder to be a punk, right? You're going to look a bit silly with the old, the soap gear, you know. See if you can grow enough to get it long enough. But I mean, you know, so... But I'm not really fussed about that, because, I mean, I think it'd be like daft to suddenly really try and be 15 years old. So I have to accept, to a degree, what I am, you know. But I'm quite happy with what I am, you know. It's done me well. And like I say, you know, I've had my moments where I've done my long tall sallies and I'm down and stuff like that with the Beatles. I've been a rocker, and we've had our mad rocking shows. And yet I've been my sort of balladeer bit with the Yesterdays and stuff like that. So I think I'm lucky in a way that I can choose. But I think of myself basically as a sort of rocker who can do ballads as well. That's how I think of myself. But I'm not really bothered how anyone else thinks of me, because it's difficult to pigeonhole.
Can you find it in yourself to write an angry song?
I did on this album. There's a track called Angry on this album. And I'll tell you, the trouble was, when it came down to it, I found it very difficult to write the lyrics. The feeling and everything's dead easy, because I get angry just like anyone does. I mean, and if people might say, well, you know, you've got such a comfortable lifestyle and stuff, how the hell can you get it? You're not on the dole. How do you dare be angry? You've got nothing to be angry about. But you have, you know, you've got Iran, Nicaragua, Reagan. There's something right there, you know.
Would you write a song about it?
Well, this song was an attempt to do all of that. But I really found it difficult to do Iran, Reagan, and to put that into rock lyrics is like really not easy. You try writing a rock song, they're actually the hardest songs to write. That's why I love Chuck Berry so much. Was that like his lyrics are, I think, are like some of the best ever, but they're always in these great little sort of rock framework. So I've written "I'm Down" was kind of probably some of the most rocking things. And they're very difficult to write. They sound easy because they're all on one note, there's 3 chords, and you think, well, anyone could do that. But to actually sum it up like a good rock song does, it's actually the hardest thing to do. So I tried on this. Now, you'll have to check this track out called Angry. It sounds angry enough, but the lyrics, I couldn't really pinpoint down what I was angry about.
Would you appear for causes then? I mean,
Yeah,
political
I'll do stuff
or
for
CND
causes.
or anything like that?
I do stuff for causes. This Peter Gabriel thing is it's a kind of peace thing, you know. It's not formulated, not totally there yet, but it'll be a great force for peace. It's like Amnesty International and things like that. I do stuff for them. And
What about more political things?
political stuff, it's difficult because I don't actually agree with any of them. So I hate to side with any of them. I think there's no one actually answering what needs to be done. No, okay, do you think maybe the nearest for, let's say, unemployment would be the socialists, right? You know, that sounds the nearest. But what are they going to do? You know, how are they going to deal with a Scargill? You tell me. Because, you know, I was here when Callaghan tried to deal with some of the other things he had. And it was hopeless. So, I mean, politically, I don't know. You know, I'd like to see, I don't think the Alliance are going to do much. I've always been like that. I've had a big trouble voting, really, because you think you ought to, because you're here. If you don't, Angry of Surbiton will, and he'll have your vote, so you feel you've got to vote. But I have trouble finding a candidate who says anything. They don't say anything, you know. And they lie through their teeth all the time.
Hey, don't be afraid of an undercover raid. Let's go, people. Ain't nobody spy like us. Spy like us.
What I feel to be right. No more lonely nights. No more lonely nights. You're my guiding light. Day or night, I'm always there. May I never miss the thrill of being near you. And if it takes a couple of years to turn your tears to laughter, I will do what I feel to be right. No more lonely night, never be another. No more lonely night. You're my guiding light. Day or night, I'm always there. And I won't go away until you tell me so. No, I'll never go away.
Tell us about the video for Press. How on earth was that done?
In 4 hours on the tube. I just left here, and the the good thing about it was that the people who were going to do the video, because there was no big setups, it was just a camera and a ghetto blaster, really, that was linked to the camera. So there was no lights, nothing, you know, it was all just going to be done. So you wanted minimum crew, because if you take even a crew this size, you know, it's only, what, 4 or 5 kind of thing. It attracts a lot of attention and people get all uptight. But if you've just got a couple of people, it's funny, they respond better.
How on earth did you get people not to be gawping when you're in the carriage and stuff like that?
Well, I say it's funny how people react on a tube. That was really why the idea was so interesting, because if you ever go on a tube, you know, everyone sits like this and they don't look at each other and they read the papers and they read those things, you know, get a better job with more pay and all that stuff, you know, going back a bit there. But, so they don't gawp. They don't. They're just the same as they are on the tube. And someone starts filming next to them.
I can't believe it, because I mean, we've all sat around a music box saying, well, they must have like closed down a station
No,
and
the
got
Americans,
a load of extras.
Americans didn't even believe it was on the tube. They said, it's too clean, man. So those extras must have cost them a bomb. No, we didn't. 4 hours, and it was real. It was on the Jubilee line. That's why it was clean, because it's like the newest bit. And I say that what the camera people did, the best thing they did was they had like a little kind of army operation worked out, so that we'd get on the tube, go a few stops, and when he ran out of film, at each stop there'd be a fella from the video company to take the film, give him a new one, and then we kept going. So we just took 4 hours, and we just got on every train that looked vaguely hospitable, and a few that didn't. And then you just meet some great people, you know, and at first I was really embarrassed, because, I mean, you get embarrassed on the tube anyway. But after a few stops, you know, and I said to the fella, don't play that ghetto blaster, whatever you do. He said, we'll just sit here and see how it goes. But after a while, I said, if I give you a wink, play, you know, start the playback.
Just tell me to press right there, that's it, yeah. Oh, when you feel the stress, don't just stand there. Tell me to press, tell me to press. You can give me what I want, I must confess. My body needs attention, my mind is in a mess. Oh, the whole world was never like this. Never like this, it was never like this. Ever like this, there was it ever like this. Oklahoma was never like this. Oh, it was never like that. Darling, I know it really wouldn't be a crime. I say I wanna love you all the time. But with all these people listening in, I don't know where I ought to begin. Or maybe we should have a secret code before we both get ready to explode. When you want me to love you, well, just tell me to pray. I'm right there, that's it, yeah. When you feel distress, don't just stand there. Tell me to pray. Oh, my mind's in a mess. Oklahoma was never like this. Never do best. Right there. When you feel the stress, oh, come on now. Put your tummy to rest. Well, your tummy to rest. Right there. That's it, yes. Yeah, yeah. Put your tummy to rest.
Are there places on this planet, apart from your own hearth and home, that you can go to where it doesn't matter a bit that you're Paul McCartney
Yeah.
to anybody?
Yeah, there's lots of them, yeah. Yeah. if you go to somewhere on holiday, like you go to Jamaica, for instance, they don't know who I am. It's good, actually. No, you know, it's nice because they got their own culture and they don't really bother. I think we all look the same to them. People used to say about blacks, you know, they all look the same, but I think you know, they just blank you. I had some little kid coming up, but I like to play with it, you know, I play back with it and stuff because you know, I have fun with them. This little kid comes up to me in Jamaica once and we're just tourists walking around and he said, "Hey, Whitehead!" Called me Whitehead. "Hey, Whitehead!" I said, "Yeah?" He said, man, Whitehead, all right, man, you know, don't look jive, man, Whitehead. I said, "Man," I said, "I'm not white. I may look white, but I'm black inside, boy." He like he ran away, you know. So they generally think I'm a loony instead of Paul McCartney. Visiting loony. And another time I went to this little market and there was a lady there and we went behind the market there to look at some puppies she had. She had little puppies all under her stall and the kids were all looking around at them. And she didn't know me from a bar of soap, as they say. And she said, "Are you American?" You know, she's very nice to me. And I said, "No," because we looked a bit American. You know, they figure anyone in a Hawaiian shirt's American. I said, "Well, no. I said, we're English, actually, British." She said, "Oh, you are subjects like us."
Do you feel guilty about having so much money?
No.
Never ever? I mean...
No, I don't. No, that was one of the things you think... That was one of the things I thought, God, you know, this is going to be awkward, because if I get money, I'm going to turn out like all those people who sort of, "Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry I did well." But I think, sod it, you know. I mean, as long as I'm not complete gross out with my money, I'd feel guilty if I had a fleet of Cadillacs and just, you know, used a lot of petrol all the time. But I don't do that, you know. I've sort of, you know, not millions of cars or anything. And I try and do good stuff with my money. You know, I help a lot of things. I don't shout about it, so I'm not known as a great, great charity person, but I believe you shouldn't shout about it. You know, I think it's more like a publicity stunt. "And I've just given to save the children." You know, I'm always embarrassed when they tell how much you've given on those programs. You know, but I mean, I don't feel uncomfortable with it. You know, I think if I didn't have it, someone else would have it. And at least I feel like to some degree it's in good hands, because I know what I do. And I'm into like conservation, I'm into peace. I'm certainly not into any power trips.
You should ever feel that something's wrong, I'm gonna wanna put it right to bring a happy ending to our song. I carry on believing in a love. If your love was to trickle through my fingers, what would it leave me with? Only love remains. Only love.
Happy Christmas and Happy New Year to all the viewers of Music Box, and long may your haggis reek. I'm going.